Welcome to today's video. If you're tired of feeling overwhelmed by negative thoughts, anxiety, and stress, you're in the right place. In this video, we'll dive deep into the Stoic strategies that have been helping people master their minds and build mental resilience for thousands of years. These practical Stoic practices, from amor fati to negative visualization, are not just ancient wisdom. They're powerful tools to help you overcome adversity and create lasting inner peace. Whether you're dealing with life's challenges or simply looking to improve your mindset, this video will give you actionable steps to start making real changes today. So, if you're ready to shift your mindset, take control of your emotions, and start living a life of strength and resilience, keep watching. Topic 1. The dichotomy of control. Focus on what you can change. Understanding the dichotomy of control. At the heart of Stoicism lies a simple yet profound concept, the dichotomy of control. Imagine a world where you're not constantly battling with external circumstances, but instead, focusing on the things you can actually influence. This principle divides everything in life into two categories: what's within your control and what's not. The ancient Stoics believed that true peace of mind is found when we recognize this distinction. By focusing on what we can control, our actions, our responses, our thoughts, we empower ourselves to take charge of our emotional reaction. Conversely, when we waste energy attempting to control things outside our grasp, like other people's actions or the outcomes of events, we open the door to frustration, anxiety, and stress. This recognition is where mental resilience truly begins. It's about accepting the uncontrollable while taking responsibility for the controllable. The impact on anxiety and stress. By simply identifying what's within your control, you can start to experience an immediate shift in your emotional state. Imagine being faced with a difficult situation at work, perhaps involving office politics, a boss's unreasonable expectations, or maybe even interpersonal conflict. These are things you cannot control, and focusing on them only adds to your anxiety and stress. However, if you decide to shift your focus to what you can control, such as your response, your mindset, and your time management, this shift empowers you to take back control over your peace. Stress loses its grip, and you regain clarity. The more you practice this Stoic approach, the more you'll notice that the external stressors that once overwhelmed you start to lose their power over your emotions. In time, you'll experience a new sense of calm in situations where others may feel chaos, and that calmness is the result of mastering the dichotomy of control. A practical example. Now, let's break this down with a practical example. Picture this. You've been working hard for a promotion at your job, putting in hours of effort, and consistently going above and beyond. But when the promotion is announced, it's awarded to someone else. How do you respond? Do you allow yourself to fall into frustration, bitterness, or resentment? Or do you focus on what you can control, like improving your skills, seeking feedback, or having a constructive conversation with your boss about your future goals? This decision is the crux of the Stoic approach to emotional control. The key is to not let the external circumstances, whether they are fair or unfair, dictate your emotional state. By focusing on what you can control, you regain your power and mental resilience. It's about shifting from reactive emotions to proactive actions, and the more you practice this, the more resilient you become. Controlling your actions, not the results. A fundamental principle of Stoicism is that we cannot control the results. We can only control the effort we put into something. Whether it's work, relationships, or personal goals, the Stoic understands that the outcomes are often beyond their control. What you can control, however, is how much effort you put into your actions and whether or not you stay true to your values. Think of it this way. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, taught us that life's outcome is not in our hands, but our response to life's challenges is. If we focus on mastering our thoughts, behaviors, and attitudes, regardless of the outcome, we build mental strength. This approach leads to resilience because we learn to detach our self-worth from the results. The journey itself becomes the reward, and we find peace in knowing we've done our best. How to apply the dichotomy in daily life. Applying the dichotomy of control doesn't need to be complicated. In fact, you can begin by using it in everyday situation. Imagine you're driving and someone cuts you off in traffic. You can't control their actions, but you can control your reaction. Will you let anger take over, or will you choose to stay calm and move on? This small yet powerful practice is a perfect example of Stoic philosophy in action. Similarly, if you're dealing with a tight deadline at work, rather than obsessing over uncontrollable factors, such as whether your team will deliver on time, focus on what you can control: your own work, time management, and stress management. By continually applying this principle, you'll find yourself becoming less reactive and more proactive, allowing you to maintain emotional clarity and peace even in chaotic situations. The emotional resilience connection. The true beauty of focusing on what's within your control is how it gradually builds emotional resilience. Over time, as you practice this Stoic approach, you'll find that you're able to face challenges with a sense of calmness and clarity, rather than emotional reactivity. This shift doesn't happen overnight, but with persistence, you'll begin to see the world through a new lens. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by life's curveballs, you'll start to respond with a sense of inner strength. The chaos of external events will no longer have the same power over your emotional state. This is the cornerstone of mental toughness. You're no longer a slave to circumstances. You're the one who decides how to react. With this mindset, adversity becomes an opportunity to grow stronger, and mental clarity becomes your default setting. Applying the dichotomy in adversity. What happens when life throws an unexpected curveball? Maybe you face an illness, a financial setback, or any kind of difficulty that seems beyond your control. It's natural to feel overwhelmed and powerless. But in these moments, the dichotomy of control offers a powerful framework for navigating adversity. While you can't control the situation itself, you can control how you respond. Do you let the challenge define you, or do you focus on taking constructive actions that can help you move forward? The Stoics believed that this distinction, the ability to focus on what you can control, is what separates those who crumble under pressure from those who rise in the face of adversity. In this way, applying the dichotomy during tough times not only helps manage stress, but also builds mental toughness that lasts. Moving beyond the dichotomy to emotional mastery. Ultimately, focusing on what you can control lays the foundation for emotional mastery. The power of controlling your emotional responses doesn't lie in suppressing or ignoring your emotions. It's about understanding them, channeling them, and choosing how to respond. The Stoics teach us that we don't have to be victims of our emotions. We can be the masters of them. By consistently practicing emotional control through the dichotomy of control, we begin to make better choices that align with our core values and goals. And in doing so, we cultivate mental resilience that doesn't just survive adversity, but thrives in it. This brings us naturally to the next Stoic principle, amor fati, the love of fate, which teaches us to embrace whatever life brings, good or bad, with grace and wisdom. Topic 2. Amor fati, embrace your fate. Introduction to amor fati. There is a profound Stoic concept that holds the key to enduring life's many challenges and building lasting resilience. Amor fati, the love of fate. This concept, although popularized by Friedrich Nietzsche, is deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy and encourages us to embrace everything that comes our way, whether it be positive or negative. Amor fati is not simply about accepting the events in our lives, it's about loving them. The Stoics believed that everything that happens to us, no matter how challenging, is part of a larger, meaningful design. They understood that true peace and resilience come from accepting our fate without resistance, seeing each challenge as an opportunity for growth. Embracing this principle is one of the most powerful steps we can take to build mental fortitude and to live a life full of meaning, no matter the circumstances. Embracing life's challenges. The key to transformative growth lies in our ability to embrace everything life throws at us, not just the triumphs, but also the setbacks and hardships. When you start to view all experiences, positive or negative, as necessary for your personal growth, you begin to transform your mindset. Imagine facing a job loss. Instead of seeing it as a devastating setback, amor fati teaches you to view it as an opportunity for reinvention. Perhaps it's now the moment to pursue that passion you've been too afraid to chase, or to take a different path that could lead to more fulfillment. In Stoic thought, there is no such thing as a true loss if we approach it with the right mindset. Every challenge, every adversity, is a chance to become better, stronger, and wiser. When we love our fate, we open ourselves to unimaginable possibilities for growth and change, shifting from resistance to acceptance. Human nature often leads us to resist change or misfortune. When life doesn't go as planned, we may instinctively feel frustrated or even despair. But the Stoics teach us that resisting what is happening only leads to more suffering. The true practice of amor fati is to accept life as it is, without complaint or regret. This does not mean giving up on improvement or action, but it does mean that we stop fighting against reality. Instead, we learn to flow with life, making adjustments as necessary but never resisting the inevitable. The key is to stop seeing life as something we need to control, and to instead embrace it as it comes, trusting that every experience has value. Turning setbacks into opportunities. Let's consider a scenario where you face a major setback, perhaps a health issue or a personal failure. How do you respond? The Stoic approach, embodied in amor fati, is to embrace this setback as an integral part of your journey. Challenges are not obstacles, they are opportunities to strengthen your character and deepen your resilience. Take the example of Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered Stoics. As an emperor, he faced war, betrayal, personal loss, and hardship. Yet he never allowed these challenges to deter him. Instead, he saw each hardship as a chance to grow mentally and emotionally, using each one to cultivate inner strength. Through amor fati, we can learn to do the same, turning every difficulty into a stepping stone toward greater personal mastery. Embracing the present moment. The Stoic principle of amor fati also encourages us to be fully present in each moment. When we embrace life's challenges as they come, we free ourselves from the burdens of the past and the anxieties of the future. Instead of clinging to regrets or worries, we can live fully in the here and now. When we practice amor fati, we stop wasting energy on what could have been or what might be, and instead focus on making the best of the present. This mindset shift is incredibly liberating, as it allows us to fully engage with the moment, without distraction or fear. It's about letting go of the need for perfection, and simply embracing life as it unfolds. Overcoming negative thoughts. One of the most difficult aspects of modern life is the constant flow of negative thoughts. We often find ourselves dwelling on what we don't have, what went wrong, or what could go wrong. Amor fati teaches us to reframe these thoughts and turn them into tools for growth. Instead of resisting or fighting against negative thoughts, we can learn to embrace them as part of our mental training. Every negative thought presents an opportunity to practice emotional resilience. It's a chance to recognize that we have the power to choose how we respond. By reframing challenges as opportunities, we can transform every situation, whether good or bad, into a valuable lesson that contributes to our mental toughness and emotional maturity. How amor fati nurtures long-term mental resilience. Over time, embracing amor fati helps us develop profound mental resilience. This shift doesn't happen overnight. It is a gradual process. Each challenge, each setback, becomes an opportunity to build emotional strength and maturity. Just as muscles grow stronger through resistance, our mental and emotional resilience grows stronger through adversity. The more we embrace life's challenges, the more we learn to navigate the difficult moments with calmness, clarity, and grace. Amor fati teaches us that every experience, no matter how difficult, contributes to our long-term growth. By practicing it consistently, we begin to see value in every aspect of our lives, both the joyous and the painful. Transition to negative visualization. Amor fati also complements another powerful Stoic practice, negative visualization. If we can embrace everything life throws at us with love and acceptance, it makes sense to prepare ourselves for the worst-case scenarios. Negative visualization encourages us to imagine the challenges and losses we might face, so that we can approach them with mental preparedness. By contemplating the worst and accepting it in advance, we build mental toughness and learn to face adversity with courage and equanimity. Negative visualization, like a more fatty, teaches us to embrace the uncontrollable and to prepare ourselves for life's inevitable challenges, no matter what they may be. Topic 3. Negative visualization, preparing your mind for adversity. Introduction to negative visualization. One of the most profound Stoic practices is negative visualization, which involves deliberately imagining the worst-case scenario. At first glance, this might seem counterintuitive. Why would anyone want to focus on the negative? However, negative visualization isn't about embracing pessimism. It's about mentally preparing yourself for life's inevitable challenges. Stoic philosophers like Seneca and Epictetus used this practice as a powerful tool for emotional mastery. By visualizing the worst outcomes, you can diminish the impact of setbacks and approach them with a calm and resilient mindset, allowing you to face life's uncertainties with clarity and strength. Reducing anxiety by imagining the worst. One of the immediate benefits of negative visualization is reducing anxiety. In a world full of unpredictability, our minds often spiral into worst-case thinking. What if I fail? What if something goes wrong? Negative visualization takes this tendency and flips it on its head. By consciously imagining the worst possible outcome, you prepare your mind to accept it before it happens. Once you're mentally prepared for the worst, anything less feels like a relief. This allows you to face challenges without the added weight of fear or stress. When you anticipate the worst, you disarm its emotional power, and when life doesn't match your mental worst-case scenario, you can approach it with much greater peace. Preparing for losses and setbacks. Consider this. What if you lost your job, your health, or a loved one? It's natural to shy away from such grim thoughts, but by practicing negative visualization, you can train your mind to handle losses effectively. This practice isn't about hoping for the worst, but about becoming emotionally prepared for it. Loss is a part of life, something we can't avoid, and resilience comes from mental preparedness, not avoidance. For instance, imagine losing your current job. Picture the impact this would have and how you would cope with it. The goal isn't to dwell on the negativity, but to equip yourself mentally for whatever comes your way, reducing shock and emotional disruption when faced with such challenges. Training your mind to accept adversity. Another critical aspect of negative visualization is that it trains your mind to accept adversity instead of resisting it. By regularly envisioning life's challenges, you stop seeing them as unexpected shocks or surprises, and instead begin to view them as inevitable parts of the human experience. When adversity inevitably strikes, you'll be able to approach it with a calm and rational mindset. This allows you to preserve your mental clarity, even in the face of unforeseen difficulties. For example, in the event of a sudden emergency, a mind trained through negative visualization won't panic. It will simply assess the situation and act with clarity and composure. How negative visualization reduces overreaction. In today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world, we're constantly exposed to stressors that can trigger emotional overreactions. Whether it's a difficult conversation, a negative review, or a personal failure, it's easy to react impulsively. Negative visualization serves as a protective mechanism, helping to reduce the emotional intensity of such situation. By visualizing challenges in advance, you can dissipate the shock factor and respond thoughtfully instead of reacting emotionally. Picture a stressful situation, like a major disappointment. By practicing how to handle it with calmness and grace, when that moment actually comes, you'll be far less likely to overreact, thus maintaining your emotional control. A step-by-step guide to negative visualization. Now let's break down how you can incorporate this powerful practice into your daily routine. Begin by setting aside a few minutes each day for focused visualization. Find a quiet place, close your eyes, and imagine a potential setback or challenge. Visualize the worst-case scenario and allow yourself to fully experience the associated emotion. Then, imagine yourself handling the situation with poise and resilience. How do you react? How do you move forward? By practicing this mental exercise regularly, you train your mind to respond to real-life challenges with clarity, emotional control, and mental strength. Over time, you will become less fazed by setbacks and better equipped to handle stress effectively. Using negative visualization to cultivate emotional control. The real power of negative visualization lies in its ability to cultivate emotional control. As you mentally rehearse different negative outcomes, you create a mental blueprint for how to react in real-life situations. This process strengthens your emotional resilience by teaching you that discomfort is temporary and that you possess the mental strength to move through it. For instance, envisioning the failure of a major work project may initially seem daunting, but once you mentally accept it, you realize that failure doesn't define you. It's simply a moment in time, and you have the power to bounce back and continue forward. Transition to viewing obstacles as opportunities for growth. Now that we've explored how negative visualization helps prepare us for setbacks, we naturally transition to the next Stoic strategy, viewing obstacles as opportunities for growth. Negative visualization primes us for adversity, and once we're mentally prepared, we can shift our perspective to see each obstacle not as a burden, but as a stepping stone for personal development. Just as negative visualization helps us accept life's challenges, the practice of viewing obstacles as opportunities allows us to transform difficulties into powerful growth experiences. Let's explore how this mindset shift can reshape the way you approach life's inevitable hurdles. Topic 4. View obstacles as opportunities for growth. Stoic view on obstacles, not as threats, but as opportunities. In Stoicism, obstacles are not viewed as hindrances, but as essential elements of personal growth. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius believed that life's challenges are opportunities to practice virtue, build mental toughness, and develop resilience. Rather than seeing obstacles as roadblocks, Stoicism teaches us to embrace them. When you face a difficulty, instead of asking, "Why me?" you should ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in perspective can profoundly change how you experience adversity, turning it into a growth opportunity. The Stoic virtue of resilience. At the heart of Stoic philosophy is the virtue of resilience. Resilience doesn't mean avoiding or minimizing pain and suffering, but instead, it's about learning how to grow through adversity. Every time you encounter an obstacle, you have a chance to strengthen your mental clarity and emotional control. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The Stoics believed that resilience is cultivated through repeated exposure to challenges. By facing them head-on, you gradually build a stronger and more balanced mind. Growth through challenges. A historical perspective. Famous Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca weren't immune to hardship. In fact, they both encountered numerous obstacles throughout their lives. Marcus Aurelius, despite being the emperor of Rome, faced personal losses, wars, and betrayals. Yet, he used these challenges to refine his character and stay grounded in his Stoic beliefs. For Seneca, writing letters from his exile gave him a unique perspective on life's hardships. These historical examples show how even the most difficult situations can be powerful catalysts for self-improvement. When we adopt this mindset, we stop seeing life's difficulties as punishments and instead see them as tools for personal growth. Viewing personal struggles as opportunities for growth. You don't have to look at history to find examples of growth through adversity. Many people today apply the Stoic teachings to overcome life's struggles. Take someone who faces financial hardship, for instance. Instead of focusing solely on the stress of lack, a Stoic mindset encourages them to see the situation as a chance to develop self-discipline, creativity, and problem-solving skills. They might look for new ways to cut expenses, start a side business, or refine their budgeting skills. Every struggle becomes an opportunity to cultivate resilience and build character. Practical strategies for applying this mindset. The beauty of the Stoic approach to obstacles is its practicality. You don't have to be a philosopher to start using these teachings today. When faced with a challenge, begin by accepting it without judgment. Ask yourself, what can I control in this situation? and focus solely on those aspects. By concentrating on what you can influence, you give yourself the power to take meaningful action. Whether it's a relationship issue, a workplace conflict, or a personal failure, focusing on what you can control allows you to handle the situation without being overwhelmed by it. For example, if you're dealing with a stressful deadline, focus on your preparation and time management instead of fixating on the stress of the deadline itself. Real-life example of overcoming obstacles. Consider the example of J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before her success, she faced numerous obstacles, including rejection from multiple publishers, financial instability, and personal challenges. Rather than being defeated, she used these experiences to refine her writing and eventually create a series that would change the world. Rowling's story is a modern example of how obstacles, whether in the form of rejection, failure, or doubt, can be powerful stepping stones toward success. By facing challenges with resilience, she not only overcame personal and professional adversity, but she also grew into a better version of herself. Overcoming obstacles strengthens emotional control. Every time you face a challenge, whether large or small, you have an opportunity to strengthen your emotional control. Stoic practices like negative visualization and amor fati prepare you mentally to accept obstacles, and now, by applying this mindset to your actions, you reinforce your mental strength. For example, if you're working on a big project at work and things aren't going as planned, instead of panicking or feeling frustrated, remind yourself that this obstacle is an opportunity to become more resilient. You can choose how to respond, whether through a calm, thoughtful approach or a rushed, emotional one. The more you practice this, the better you become at handling life's setbacks with grace. Transition to memento mori, embracing life's impermanence. As we've explored how obstacles can serve as opportunities for growth, it naturally leads us to another Stoic concept, memento mori, which reminds us of life's impermanence. The Stoics believed that contemplating death helps us prioritize what truly matters, enabling us to focus on the present and approach challenges with a sense of purpose. By keeping the concept of memento mori in mind, we are better able to see obstacles not just as hurdles, but as integral parts of our life journey. Let's now dive into how reflecting on our mortality can help us lead a more fulfilling, resilient life. Topic 5. Memento mori. Remember you will die. The Stoic concept of memento mori. Memento mori, a Latin phrase meaning remember that you will die, is one of the most profound and impactful teachings in Stoic philosophy. This simple yet powerful reminder encourages us to acknowledge the fleeting nature of life. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on the impermanence of life, urging himself to live fully in each moment. The purpose of contemplating death is not to induce fear or anxiety, but to inspire clarity and focus. By recognizing that time is limited, we are motivated to prioritize what truly matters and let go of the trivial concerns that often dominate our thoughts. Prioritize what truly matters. Contemplating our mortality forces us to evaluate what is truly important. Epictetus, another prominent Stoic philosopher, taught that death is a natural part of life, and when we embrace this reality, we stop squandering time on things that don't bring us closer to our true purpose. Instead of worrying about the small annoyances or stressing over irrelevant drama, memento mori helps us focus on the things that truly enrich our lives, our relationships, our health, and our inner peace. For example, instead of obsessing over material possessions or fleeting accomplishment, you begin to invest more in personal growth, emotional control, and meaningful experiences, freeing ourselves from trivial concerns. The beauty of memento mori is that it frees us from the grip of superficial worries. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of daily life, the constant chase for success, approval, or material gain. But when you reflect on your inevitable death, those things lose their weight. Seneca wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." Memento mori helps us realize that many of the things we fear or stress about are not worth our attention. By accepting that life is short and uncertain, we naturally begin to focus on the things that truly matter. How memento mori reduces anxiety and stress. One of the most powerful benefits of memento mori is its ability to reduce anxiety. Anxiety often stems from an imagined future, our fears about what might happen. But when we focus on the inevitability of death, we shift our attention to the present. We stop worrying about distant possibilities and start making the most of our current experiences. This doesn't mean we should ignore the future entirely, but rather that we should live with an understanding that our time is limited, which allows us to approach life with intention and purpose. When you accept the certainty of your mortality, the uncertainty of everyday life becomes less daunting. Implementing memento mori in everyday life. Incorporating memento mori into your daily routine can be simple but profound. It doesn't require an elaborate ritual, but rather a mindset shift. One practical way to do this is by setting aside a few moments each day to reflect on your mortality. Whether it's during your morning meditation, while walking, or before going to bed, pause for a brief moment to remind yourself that life is precious and fleeting. This can help you reframe your perspective, enabling you to approach each day with greater gratitude and awareness. For example, if you're feeling frustrated by a difficult task at work, reflect on the fact that life is too short to waste time on frustration. This can lead to greater clarity, emotional control, and a renewed focus on what's important. Acknowledging mortality to cultivate gratitude. When we acknowledge the impermanence of life, we begin to appreciate the moments we have more deeply. Memento mori cultivates a sense of gratitude, encouraging us to cherish our time with loved ones, appreciate our health, and engage in the activities that bring us fulfillment. Rather than taking things for granted, we approach life with a renewed sense of appreciation and purpose. This mindfulness fosters a deep sense of inner peace, helping us to remain grounded even in the face of adversity. Memento mori and building mental resilience. Reflecting on death also strengthens our mental resilience. When we understand that life is finite, we develop a healthier attitude towards stress and setbacks. We stop viewing challenges as insurmountable obstacles and instead see them as opportunities to grow. In difficult moments, we can ask ourselves, how can I use this experience to improve and strengthen my character? This resilience mentality allows us to face adversity with greater confidence, knowing that life's challenges are temporary and that we have the inner strength to overcome them. Transition to overcoming adversity, applying memento mori to daily challenges. Now that we've discussed how memento mori helps us prioritize what truly matters, reduce anxiety, and build resilience, it naturally leads us to another Stoic principle: overcoming adversity. The awareness of mortality equips us with the mental clarity needed to face life's challenges head-on. As we move forward, let's explore how to apply this mindset of acceptance and growth to the difficulties we encounter daily. By using memento mori as a foundation, we can turn every obstacle into a valuable opportunity for personal growth and emotional control. Now that you've learned some of the most transformative Stoic strategies, it's time to reflect on how you can implement them in your own life. Remember, the key to mental resilience isn't about avoiding challenges, but embracing them with the right mindset. From memento mori to negative visualization, these Stoic practices will guide you to master your emotions and face life's hurdles with clarity and strength. By practicing self-discipline, shifting your perspective on adversity, and controlling your emotions, you'll not only enhance your mental toughness, but also start creating lasting changes that improve your overall well-being. So, take a moment to integrate these ideas into your daily life and remember, this journey to personal growth is a continuous process. If you found value in today's video, please hit that like button, share this video with a friend who could benefit from these Stoic insights, and subscribe for more powerful content on emotional control, resilience, and Stoic wisdom. Don't forget to turn on the notifications so you never miss out on videos that can help you grow and thrive. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.